Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. I made a video a couple months back sharing the ways that I make a little extra money while being a stay-at-home mom. And one of the ways that I mentioned was reselling clothes online. And I know this is becoming like a more popular thing to do, so I just thought I would make a video and share some of my tips and tricks on how I do that. Okay, so clothes. Obviously, if you're going to sell clothes online, you need some clothes to sell. The two main places that I find clothes to sell are, one, from my own closet, and the second place that I find clothes to resell is thrift stores. So the main three things that I look for when I go thrifting with the mindset to resell: the brand, condition, and style. When people are looking on sites like Poshmark, where you resell your clothes, people type into the search bar brands primarily, or at least I do, and I would assume a lot of people do as well. So when you're out thrifting, the brand is really important. You could find a super cute dress or blouse or whatever it is, but if it's like a no-name brand, that's going to be a lot harder to resell than like a Zara shirt or Madewell or Free People. The well-known trendy brands, those items will sell so much easier, so much faster than a no-name brand. That's just how it is. So whenever I thrift, I just keep my eyes out for brands that I know are popular, that I know are trendy, that I know people will type into the search bar because they like those clothes. Next is condition. People don't want to buy crappy clothes, right? They don't want clothes with holes in them. They don't want pit stains. They don't want like super frayed, like, no, people don't want that. So when you're thrifting and you find something that you like and that you think is cute and could be resold, make sure that you really look over the item. Look to see if there's any small holes anywhere or if there's any stains. Notice the material of the item, if it's like really worn out or faded. So just make sure when you're looking at clothes that the clothes that you pick out are actually in really good condition. And then style. This one's a little bit tricky because obviously everybody has different preferences on style. So for me when shopping, I just have to be mindful of kind of what styles are in right now. And a good way that I like to do this is I'll occasionally go on Pinterest and just scroll through like some fashion pages, and you can kind of see what the trends are right now. Then you can take that knowledge and just kind of like common sense and like gut feeling and go to a thrift store and pick out styles that are popular right now and that you know people will like. And then my last tip up for this section is knowing where to buy clothes. A good tip that I learned from the YouTube channel Best Dressed is to make little notes, either in like an actual notebook or just like the notes section of your phone, whenever you go and visit a new thrift store. So you can remember what that thrift store had or what you liked about it or what you didn't like about it. So for example, I know where I live there are certain stores that are super well organized and they have super great home decor stuff, but maybe their clothes are a little more expensive than I would like. Or there's some stores that have a ton of clothes, not organized, but a ton of clothes to choose from, and I can usually find some stuff, but there's like no home decor. So it's just important to like know the thrift stores around you and what you like about them. It's also good to note when those thrift stores are having sales. A lot of my stores around me have sales for each holiday coming up, so they'll do like 50% off everything for the weekend. So it's really nice to be able to write that down in your notes, knowing, okay, I should go to this store this weekend because everything's 50% off, and you can find some good deals there. Okay, so now you have some clothes to resell, and now you think, okay, how do I sell them? Where do I put them? There's so many different places that you can sell clothes these days. You can start an Instagram page and just sell them through there with like Venmo. You can start an Etsy shop. You can physically take them to like a consignment type shop like Plato's Closet, those types of shops. Or what I'm going to talk about is like the online app places like Poshmark. I know there's a lot of other ones besides Poshmark, but that's the only one that I use because I don't want to spend a lot of time posting stuff on multiple platforms. I just use one just to make it simple. So I'm going to share some tips for selling on Poshmark, but I feel like these tips can be applied to multiple platforms. Okay, so when you go to sell something on Poshmark, you have to make a listing for each item. The first thing that you have to do for your listing is take a photo of your item. And you can actually add multiple photos, which is helpful. So the very first photo that you add is the most important because that's the one that's going to show up when people search. The first tip, if the item is a newer item and you can find like an original picture of the item on like the model from the site, use that picture. It just makes your listing look so much more professional and cleaner if your first picture is of like the actual product from the website being modeled. I know sometimes that's not possible, sometimes that doesn't exist or you can't find it, so you have to take the best first picture. First, lighting is so important. Not only does good lighting in a picture make the picture look just more professional, but it also allows the buyer to see what like the true colors of the clothing looks like. It's really important not to use any type of filter or anything like that on these pictures because that will skew the colors of the product, and obviously you want the buyer not to be confused when they open the package and see different colors than what are in your pictures. So lighting is so important. So when you're taking pictures, if you want to use natural light, just make sure you're taking them in a location where you have good lighting in your house. And if you don't have good lighting in your house, it may be worth looking into getting like a soft box or something to help you out with that. The other thing important is the location of your picture. I'm sure we've all seen pictures of people reselling their clothes where it's kind of like an awkward angle and the shirt is on the ground and they take a picture like that and it doesn't really work well. Do not take pictures of your clothing on the ground. The main reason being is that it's just hard to tell what like the shape and form of an article of clothing is if it's just laying on the ground. So what I like to do is I always put all my clothing on a hanger and I hang it up against, I actually do it right here. I hang it up on my accordion rack right here, which you can't see. I move all these bags out of the way so I have a plain white background. So I will just hang the garment of clothing on a hanger on my rack so that you can see the form and the shape of the clothing piece. You also want to make sure that the items of clothing look good. So like if you want to sell a pair of pants and they've just kind of been in your drawer stuffed there for a year, if you take them out and there's some wrinkles in them, take the time and iron them out. It won't take that much time and I promise it makes a difference in how the picture looks. So that first picture that you should add, make sure it's either of the model from the site wearing it, or if you can't find that, make sure it's a nice, well-lit picture where you can see the form of the piece, the full length of it. If it's a dress, make sure the post is the full length of the dress. And then you have some options of adding some more pictures. With Poshmark, there's no returning of items. So you want to make it as easy as possible for a buyer to buy your stuff. So that means you have to give them as much information about the item as you can so that they don't have any questions and they won't be hesitant to buy it. Like they will know everything there is to know about that piece. So I would recommend adding as many pictures as you can. The first picture needs to be the full body shot, but then the next few pictures can be like pictures of the little accents on the item that you think are cute or that you want them to have a better look at, or the material tag. That's like a big question. People want to know like what the material is, so you can put a picture of that so that they can see that and don't have any questions about that. You can take a picture of the back of the piece. Sometimes there's some different things on the back that you want to showcase. And sometimes for the items that I don't have a picture of like a model wearing them, sometimes I'll take a picture of myself in it just so that people can have a better idea of kind of how it fits. So just take that opportunity and add as many pictures as you can. highlighting the piece and giving the viewer as much information as you can. So thinking about it that way, like trying to get as much information about the piece out there to the buyer, for filling in the rest of the listing, that's how I like to think about it. I say, okay, if I was looking at this, what possible questions could I have about this and how can I address those in the listing? So next you put a title on your listing, and this is super important because these are the keywords that will pop up when people search for things. So I've been using this Free People dress as my example in this. So when I'm making a title, the first thing that I want to note is this dress is new with the tags. So the first thing I'm going to write is NWT, new with tags. The next thing that I want to write is Free People, because that is the brand. That's what I think people are going to type into the search bars. I know I do. So I want to make sure that I put the brand in the title. So new with tags, Free People. If you know the actual name of the item, like sometimes they like have a name, you could put that in case people search for like that specific dress. I know I've done that before. Or you can just kind of describe the dress. So I would say NWT Free People gold embroidered mini dress. Something like that. And then sometimes I will also add what size it is in the title as well. Basically, you just want to use the title and put as many like keywords you can think of that people may be searching for. Next, it lets you give a description of the item. I'm not gonna lie, posting a listing takes time. Like, it's not just take a picture, post, you're done. Like, you have to fill out the listing, which is annoying, but it really does make a difference if you want your clothing to sell fast. Like I said, you want to make this as easy as possible for somebody to buy it. If somebody looks at a piece of clothing and they have an initial question, they're not going to buy it right then and there. And then by the time that they get their question answered, it could be too late. Like, they could say, you know what, I've thought about it, I don't really want it anymore. But if you had all the information laid out from the get-go and they see it and they think, oh, that's so cute, oh, it's my size, I know it's gonna fit me, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So you don't want to give them time to think about it, is the main thing here. So in your description, I kind of like to reword what I put in the title. Like, I basically restate the title, and then I like to add additional information that I know people might be searching for. For example, I know that people love to know specific measurements on clothing. Two really common measurement questions that I've seen, especially for dresses, are like the length measurement and the bust measurement. So whatever item you're trying to sell, make sure that you list those measurements that are applicable to that item so that people can have that information and they will know if that item will fit them or not. So yeah, just take the description as a way to be as specific as possible about the item, about the different colors of it. Like, if I'm listing this, I'm going to say, it's a really pretty mustard yellow gold color. The flowers are embroidered and they're pink, light pink, and dark pink. I might say they have really cute ruffle sleeves and a ruffle bottom and a little keyhole back. Like, I'm just going to be as specific as possible in my description so that nobody has any questions. And then we get to pricing. I'll be honest, this is one thing I don't love about Poshmark. When I first started listing clothes, I would put a price that I thought was a very, very reasonable price where both me and whoever bought it would feel like happy about it. I quickly realized that that is not the culture of Poshmark, which is unfortunate. I wish it was that way, but it's not. Basically, on Poshmark, at least, I don't know about other sites, but on Poshmark, buyers are able to kind of haggle prices, like offer a lower price. And the seller can also send out special prices to buyers. Because of this, it's kind of created a culture where nobody expects to pay what the price is listed for, which is unfortunate and just kind of annoying, to be honest. Basically, buyers feel like they're not going to get a good deal unless they can get a lower price from what you have listed it at. Which means for the seller, you have to list the item higher than what you actually would like to sell the clothing item for, because you can just assume that people are going to offer you lower prices. That's just like how it is. So if I wanted to sell this dress for 40 bucks, I would probably list this dress at like 50 or 55, because I know people are going to offer lower prices for it. So if someone offers me 40 bucks for it when it says it's 55, then I can accept it because that's the price that I would have sold it at anyway, and then they feel like they're getting a good deal because they got it for $15 less than what I sold it for. So just kind of know that going into this. If you've never listed anything before, list it a little bit higher priced than what you would really want it for, because you'll probably get those requests for a lower price. In turn though, you as the seller can also offer like a special price to people. So for example, if you go on Poshmark and you like something, you like a dress, that seller could send you a special price, special discounted price because you liked the item. So as a seller, I'll do that too. If somebody likes that dress, I will shoot them a special discount for 40 bucks, and a lot of the time that gets them to buy it because they saw the price at 55. I just sent them a private offer for 40 and they think, oh, this is an awesome deal, yeah, I'm gonna take it. You still get your $40 price that you wanted to sell it at, but you just kind of have to do a few steps before you get there. And every once in a while, someone will just buy something without offering a lower price, which is nice because then you get, you know, more money than you thought or even was willing to get. So that's always good. So yeah, that's kind of my tip around pricing. Okay, then the last Poshmark tip I want to share is consistency. Now, like I said before, I only do this every once in a while. I'm not constantly going to thrift stores and like developing an inventory. I just like don't have time for that. Like any platform, consistency is important to get like noticed or discovered. So if you have a lot of stuff to sell, you can consistently keep adding things into your store and more people will find your shop. I know people probably have better tips if this is like what they do all the time to make some good money. I'm sure there's like a good strategy on like managing your listings. Since I don't do this too often, I haven't really focused on that, but the one thing that I do is if somebody shares one of my listings, people can like share your listings and that gets your shop more exposure. I will normally go and reshare one of their items, spread the love. Just kind of resharing other people's items gets their attention on your shop because they get a notification and there's a better chance of them resharing something from your shop, which gets exposure to your shop. So I'll do that every once in a while, but then I will also share my own listings because I'm not listing something every single day. I just don't have time for it and I don't want to. But I can reshare my own listings. So every few days or so, I'll go on and I will just click on my listing and you can click like reshare, and that kind of brings your listings like back up to the front of my followers' feeds, so that maybe if they did see my post a while back and they thought, oh yeah, that's cute, resharing it will bring it back to the top of their feed and they can think, oh yeah, I forgot about that, I actually really like that, and maybe they'll buy it. So those are the two little things that I do strategic wise with my listing in Poshmark, but I'm sure you could find some other like really good strategy tips from people who make some good money from this. Okay, I think that is it. Hopefully this video was helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please hit that subscribe button to become part of my little family here on YouTube. I would love to know if you also do this, and please share some of your tips down below so that we can all benefit from it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time with a new video. Bye!